Question is such a good one, and it's such a perfect example of why it's important to learn how to eat rather than how to diet. And what I mean by that is actually learning about nutrition, the macronutrients, the micronutrients, why they're important, and how to read a nutrition label and actually understand it rather than just looking for something that's the lowest calorie and highest protein. Start with the Chobani 20-gram drink. So in this, we have 14 grams of carbohydrates, we have 11 grams of total sugars, and we have 0 grams of added sugar. Now, that total sugar and added sugar is what gets really confusing for a lot of people. And you'll also notice that I mentioned carbohydrates. The reason that I mentioned carbohydrates is because carbohydrates and sugars are kind of interchangeable in a way. When it comes to carbohydrates, how they break down in our body is into glucose in their most simplest form. Glucose is what causes our blood sugar to go up and down, and what also provides our brain and our body with our primary source of energy. Those total sugars, or the 11 grams of sugar, are actually just naturally occurring sugars that are coming from the dairy that is in this product. So it naturally contains lactose. It is lactose free because they add the lactase enzyme, which is what our stomach will have if we can tolerate dairy and lactose. Some people cannot do that. So they add the lactase enzyme in there to help break down that lactose for you to make it more easily digestible. But that naturally occurring sugar is going to have a lower glycemic index than something like a piece of candy. It's also really important to note is that this has 20 grams of protein. When we're talking about blood sugar balance, carbohydrates are going to digest very quickly and very fast. But when they're paired with protein, fat, and fiber, that helps to slow down the digestion and basically extend the energy that we get from carbohydrates. So instead of getting this quick spike of energy and then quick fall of energy, we're going to get a more steady rise that lasts over a longer period of time before it falls back off, aka we stay more full and satisfied for longer. So it's important that this also has 20 grams of protein in it because that is going to extend those carbohydrate energies, essentially, that we're getting from this beverage as well. And I also wanted to show Perfect Bar as an example because I freaking love these, especially as a breastfeeding snack. I love that they're a well-balanced snack because they have carbohydrates, protein, and fat all in one. So they're a really easy like grab and go option. However, they do have some added sugar in them. And a lot of people will get really nervous or worried about that. But this is where it can come in handy actually understanding food and understanding nutrition rather than just looking at a label and looking at the numbers on the label. The added sugar that comes from this is actually coming from honey, which is a lower glycemic index carbohydrate. So knowing those things, it can help you make decisions, and also knowing that this has fat, protein, and fiber in there is also going to help to extend that energy that's coming from the carbs that can be found in here. Even if you have diabetes, even if you're perimenopause, even if you have PCOS, carbohydrates are not a bad thing. It's important to learn and understand how to eat carbohydrates in a way that helps to balance out your blood sugar levels and choosing foods and items that provide your body with the energy that it needs.